Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's event, The Secret to Vulnerability Management, Best Practices and Solutions. And presenting today's topic is Mitch Garvis. Mitch is an IT professional with over 25 years of experience in designing, implementing, securing, administering, and managing secure systems and network infrastructures for companies of all sizes, including private, public, government, and military. He's traveled to every continent, consulting, lecturing, and teaching on various IT topics, and has successfully led projects and managed teams at high-profile companies. As a technical trainer and certified instructor for over 20 years, Mitch has consistently received excellent instructor evaluations, reflecting his commitment to delivering the best training possible. Now, please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. And today's presentation is from the security practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. Vulnerability management is the process of identifying, prioritizing, and mitigating vulnerabilities in IT systems in order to reduce the risk of security breaches. In today's session, you will learn strategies to better protect your organization networks, systems, and applications from potential vulnerabilities and threats, safeguarding your business and customers. And now I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early, and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey, Mitch, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I hope I'm audible and that you can all see my screen.
Yes, you are audible, and we can see your screen. Everything looks great.
Hello.
My name is Mitch Garvis, and I am a trainer with Netcom Learning. I've been an IT professional for 30 years, and I've been sharing the knowledge that I have gained from a lifetime of experience as a trainer since 2006. Today, I would like to discuss vulnerability management from a pretty high level. While some of the concepts we will refer to today are pretty deep, we will not be getting into the weeds, at least not today. So, on the agenda, we are going to discuss firstly what is vulnerability management, the importance of vulnerability management, the vulnerability landscape trends and challenges, the secret to effective vulnerability management, and some best practices that we use. We will, as usual, close out with a question and answer period with myself, and hopefully I will be able to answer all of your questions. So without any further ado, let's move ahead. What is vulnerability management? In the simplest terms, vulnerability management is the ongoing process of trying to find holes in your IT systems so that you can then plug those holes. Ignorance of vulnerability is never a strategy. And if you do not know where your systems and processes are weak, then you cannot work to strengthen them. There's a commonly held belief that if one part of your system is weak, then the best solution is to bolster those systems around it, relying on edge or perimeter security. And that is one way to look at things. While there are some cases where that is the only option, such as some IoT devices or legacy systems, the best practice is always to assess every device and every system that you have, and then to harden whatever you can. The most obvious systems that come to mind are, of course, the perimeter systems, such as routers, firewalls, intrusion prevention systems, and so on. However, we must evaluate both internal and external systems, remembering that not all threats are coming from the outside. That is why we need to spend just as much energy examining our internal landscape, which does not only include systems. We need to evaluate our people, as well as the processes and procedures for vulnerabilities as well. We cannot leave any stone unturned when evaluating our environment for vulnerabilities. There should be nothing that is ignored. That is not to say that we need to create a Fort Knox of our business. We simply need to know what is or might be vulnerable so that we can then decide what fits into our tolerance for risk. The importance of vulnerability management. There is a balance that we need to strike between security and usability that we need to consider when building our infrastructure. On the one hand, we do not want to complicate the lives of our people. On the other hand, we need to remember what it is that we are protecting and what the cost would be if our systems were to be compromised. Those costs can be financial, reputational, or worse. A lack of proper security controls can lead to decertification from certifying authorities, fines, legal actions in many cases, and in a number of not so extreme cases, such as healthcare, transportation, policing, and defense, even loss of life leading to potential criminal charges. Of course, not every industry is going to have such extreme cases, but it is up to every organization to determine what their tolerance for risk is and to do their best to minimize risk. It is impossible to do that without knowing where we are vulnerable. Taking the head in the sand approach and assuming that our systems are fine just because we have not done proper security audits can leave us vulnerable to the sort of attacks that ruin careers and businesses and even bring down governments. The vulnerability landscape, trends, and challenges. Why did Willie Sutton rob banks? Because that's where the money is. While he claims he never actually gave that answer, it is obvious that criminals rob targets because they can profit off of them. Unfortunately for us, there are a lot of other reasons why cyber criminals attack our organizations, such as revenge, politics, religion, national interest, and the one that is possibly the most irksome of all, just to prove that they can. The last category can range from simple crimes of opportunity to challenges in hacking communities to compromise certain systems and organizations. The sad truth is that the capture and prosecution rates of cyber criminals is so close to zero as to be laughable. Knowing that, anyone with a criminal mind or desperation will see this as a no-lose situation. They have the opportunity to make a lot of money that they did not earn, although they might justify in their own minds that they deserve it, with next to no chance of getting caught. Of course, most external attacks can be thwarted by the triad of well-trained IT staff, constant vigilance, and a decent budget for IT security. Too many organizations do not realize the importance of these and expect their regular IT teams to also be security specialists. The number of attacks that could have been prevented by simple patch management is astounding. Then there is the fact that there is no such thing as job security anymore. True company loyalty is a thing of the past. Internal threats are stronger than ever, whether this is because users are disgruntled or underappreciated or feel unappreciated, or if they are planning to leave the company and want to bring as much value with them when they knock on the doors of your competitors looking for a job, or simply because they know that they are only one email away from being made redundant in the next big corporate layoff. Employees with an axe to grind are nothing new. The fraud triangle theory was developed in 1953, long before offices had computers, let alone anything that they could steal from them. That is one of the reasons that it is not always sufficient to do background checks on your employees before hiring them, and then assuming they will remain honest and loyal and true. Just as our relationships with employees evolve, the threat landscape evolves as well, which is why most cybersecurity specialists spend a great deal of time keeping up with the latest threats. Because of this, vulnerability management cannot be linear and occasional. Effective vulnerability management is ongoing and cyclical because security is not a destination, rather it is a moving target. The minute we get complacent about our security is the day we become even more vulnerable to attack. There is another trend that we face that is not new, but has evolved into a cyber threat. When employees leave the company, they leave behind little time bombs that are waiting to go off and cause our next security threat. This can be in the form of a logic bomb, which can be planted when the employee sees the writing on the wall, or even years in advance to ensure that if the company ever does terminate their employment, that they will be sorry for it. Another threat we face from former employees is a backdoor with hidden credentials that might allow them to access your system after they have been escorted out of the building, and of course, after they have cashed their severance checks, to either continue to profit from your hard work or just to wreak havoc in their wake. The secret to effective vulnerability management: while there is no silver bullet to keep your system safe and secure, there is also no real secret to it. Constant awareness, training, and vigilance are a good starting point, but it is not as simple as that. We have to perform security audits on our own systems, and we are going to start by looking at them now. There are no perfect systems out there, so we are more often than not going to find something. Once we have found whatever vulnerabilities we find, we will do our best to mitigate those. We close them up, patch them, eliminate them, boost them. Whatever the remediation is, we do it now. Once that is done, we retest our systems. Why? You might be surprised at how often fixing one thing ends up breaking another. Once we are satisfied that our systems are solid, we are absolutely not done. We can test our systems as often as we would like, but we are biased. When we go into these internal audits, we do so thinking that we have done a pretty good job of it. So we are psychologically inclined to believe and to want to believe that our systems are secure. Third-party penetration testers, often referred to as ethical hackers, have no such preconceived notions. If anything, their preconception is that there are no systems that they cannot penetrate, and they will do everything in their power to prove themselves. If this is the case, why don't we just start with them and eliminate the internal audits altogether? The simple answer is cost. Penetration testing is a costly business, and the more vulnerabilities discovered, the more expensive it is going to be. The smartest choice is to try to eliminate as many vulnerabilities as you can before engaging the external consultants. Once penetration testers submit the report, you will perform another remediation to plug all of those security holes, and after which they will retest your systems once again to make sure that you did not, once again, inadvertently break anything while fixing them. We're done, right? If only it were that simple. No, once that is done, we go back to the drawing board and we start reassessing our own systems again. Why? Because not only do we make changes to our systems that in turn require us to reevaluate and reassess our internal security, but also because the threat actors and the tools at their disposal continue to evolve. To be clear, this does not need to be a one-to-one ratio. We will constantly be reviewing and re-reviewing our own systems, while the external audits might be bi-yearly or yearly, for example. We constantly thrive to improve and to make sure that our systems are as secure as we can make them. Best practices for industry. There is a truism that good enough is always good enough, and perfect is usually not worth the extra effort. How high is up? How secure do our systems need to be? The simple answer is that it depends. What is the value of what we are protecting? What are the consequences of a successful attack, whether that be in dollars or reputation or loss of accreditation or lives? We have to evaluate the risks and aftermaths of same before we protect our candy store to withstand terrorist attacks and nuclear bombs. In other words, we would not spend $1 million to prevent the loss of $1,000. The return on security investment is just not there. For a brick and mortars business, it is easy to perform a quantitative risk assessment in order to see what we stand to lose by not closing security vulnerabilities. A department store knows that they will lose money to shoplifters. They consider the concrete value to the risk factors, such as the single loss expectancy, SLE, the exposure factor, EF, the annualized rate of occurrence, or ARO, and they can then calculate the annualized loss expectancy, or ALE. They try to forecast how these numbers change when they decrease or increase their security spending. Of course, this entire process is not an exact science, and a lot of these numbers are hard to accurately predict, but at least there are hard numbers involved. How then would we extrapolate the same sort of predictive assessment to a digital property or to the cyber presence of a brick and mortar company? It is more difficult because the stakes might be higher. If somebody walks into a department store and steals a pair of jeans, it will be business as usual for the store, minus a pair of jeans. A cyber attack can cause infinitely more damage. Depending on the scope of attack, as well as the threat actor's intentions and motivations, they can completely shut the business down until all of their systems are finally restored. They can steal corporate secrets, intellectual property, client lists, and all manner of information. And we might never realize that this information has been compromised. What we think is secret is now known to someone else. This can cause our business to lose strategic advantages that can cost market share, customers, or much worse. And since we never knew the data was stolen, we might never understand what happened. Think of cybersecurity as an insurance policy. We pay money so that nothing bad happens. We might not ever realize what the ROSI, or the return on security investment, that we get from spending the dollars on a solid vulnerability strategy are. But the alternative is not spending that money and potentially losing so much more. The smartest move that you can make is to know what your risks are. Depending on what we are protecting, it is likely that we will have a risk tolerance or risk assessment, which means that we are aware of the risk and decide that we are willing to risk not protecting a particular asset or system. Most companies will have a level of risk appetite, which is a willingness to accept some risk as long as they go into it with open eyes. Once again, neither hope nor ignorance are viable stratagem with regard to vulnerability management. So where do we go from here? There are several classes that teach about risk assessment, but there are also several technical classes that teach cybersecurity concepts, including risk assessment and penetration testing. While organizations looking to implement a vulnerability management strategy will certainly benefit from hiring an IT professional with extensive cybersecurity experience, it is also smart to have all of your staff trained in cybersecurity, and then probably get some trained cybersecurity analysts, and then penetration testing. These classes and certifications are available through Netcom Learning from training vendors such as CompTIA, EC Council, ISC2, and others. I mentioned that your entire IT staff should be trained in security because security is easier to achieve when the entire team understands the security mindset. There is a right way to deploy and manage your infrastructure, and doing it the wrong way is leaving your organization open to security threats that you might not know exist, or at the very best, having these holes that you have to patch on an ongoing basis. Ensuring that your entire staff is on the same page by getting them properly educated and certified in security concepts goes a long way to achieving the secure infrastructure that we all want. While we discuss the importance of training and certifications, it is vital to remember that the threats faced by our organizations evolve much faster than the courses and exams do. Once you are certified, your journey is far from over. We need to read blogs, forums, journals on an ongoing basis. We might attend conferences and vendor fairs to hear what the experts in the field are saying. We might even need to visit the dark places where polite company dare not go. Yes, to stay up to date on the potential threats we need to protect our systems from, we might venture very, very carefully onto the dark web. But please do not just do that from your corporate laptop. You will be hacked faster than you can ask if your firewall is enabled. When you plan for your internal audit, start and end with conversations. In advance of the exercise, discuss the objectives of both the attackers and the defenders, and determine what everyone is trying to accomplish. Following the exercise, have an after-action report, or what we sometimes call a post-mortem. In this, we will discuss what vulnerabilities were discovered and what we might do to harden those systems. Make sure we keep these discussions professional and respectful, and please remember that we are all on the same team, even if on one of these exercises, one part of the team is playing attacker and the other is playing defender. With external penetration testers, make sure you set down the parameters of the exercise. While there are some activities they will do that are passive, others will be active and could potentially disrupt systems and operational activity. Make sure you go into the exercise knowing what the risks are and how hard they are able to push in order to breach your systems. Following this exercise, accept their report with professionalism. Remember, it is petty to yell how strong your perimeter defenses are when you are yelling at someone who has clearly broken through them. These exercises can be extremely invasive, and while it might seem to your IT staff that they have been personally violated, that is not the case. But in almost every case, they will be taught a lesson in humility. Accept it with grace and use that lesson to bolster your defenses. Thank you very much. I will now take questions.
Thank you, Mitch. That was very informative. I know everyone is looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions into the questions panel. And while you do that, and now I'd like to give the presentation rights to Jobby, our VP for Vendor Operations, to introduce our promotions and webinar-related courses.
All right, thank you. Thank you once again. My name is Jobby Verghese. I'm the Director for Vendor and Products at Netcom, and I'm pleased to speak to all of you and tell you a few more things about Netcom Learning. And once again, on behalf of Netcom, we welcome you all for this event. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Briefly, I want to show what are the other benefits which Netcom offers to you as a technology learner. And we would like to quickly take you through our journey of how Netcom has reached this stage where we are and what sort of numbers do we have. So we started in 1998. This was started by our CEO, Mr. Russell Sarder. At this point, we have a lot of awards which we have won. The notable among them is Microsoft's #1 training partner of the year. And if you look at most of the organizations we have serviced, especially the Fortune 1000, more than 80% of them we have serviced. We have served US military bases, all of them, in fact, more than 100 of them and counting. And then, our portfolio has got about 3,000 plus certified instructors. So at this point, as we speak, we have trained more than 175,000 professionals in IT and related fields as well. Most of our customers do like us. So, we've been recommended by 96% of our customers. Since we are talking about security, so security skilling is a program which Netcom has created for avid learners like you who are keen to learn more and at the same time enhance your career prospects and at the same time update and upgrade your skills. So what we have done is we have created a specific program. We call it a security skilling program, in which we have courses from CompTIA, EC Council, IC Square, Microsoft, AWS, and we're also shortly adding Cisco to this particular skilling program. While we all know that all these vendors whom you saw on the screen, All of them offer a lot of courses, but then what we tried to do was to create a roadmap for each of those vendors, and we have created specialities. A quick glance of that particular page is this. We would encourage you to visit us at netcom www.netcomlearning.com and take it get more information from here. These are the specialities we cover, and if you come here and click on various specialities, you'll get the courses which we cover on the right hand side. So this is our security skilling program, and if you look at the features, basically we have the best of the instructors. We have a global delivery capability, so wherever you are, United States, Canada, Europe, wherever you are across the world, we have the capability to deliver programs. So if you or your organization needs it, please feel free to get in touch with us. Um, we also have multiple learning modes. If you say that, virtual instructor led is something which you're interested in, or you want a private group training, or you are interested in self-paced, all those options are available in our security skilling program. And at this point, this has got more than 50 different courses and certifications from these vendors, which you see on the screen. Moving on, we also have a cybersecurity awareness training and phishing simulation solution for our customers. And this is one of those very important things, because we all talk about security, but we know that, one small error by an end user of an organization can risk the complete organization of its resources. Its digital infrastructure could be at risk, and of course the IP and the data as well. So, the end user training part of it, we have partnered with EC Council to offer a unique solution to our customers, which is basically to offer a phishing simulation solution. Along with that, more than 100 different courses to train the end users on safe, secure cyber practices. In terms of the security solution, this is what we do in the simulation part of it. There are three types of simulations we offer: entice to click, credential harvesting, and sending an attachment. We also offer simulations on voice calls, and you could also do simulations on SMS, which is sending a message to your team members to check how do they react to a bait kind of a situation. If you say that you want to assign trainings directly to your learners, you could do that from this platform itself. So if you think this is of interest to you, please feel free to get in touch with us. We'll be able to give you a detailed information on this. Moving forward, we have a learning passport as a product. This is basically a savings plan in which, based on the product, based on the value you purchase, you get additional buying power, or additional buying power. So effectively, your purchase per unit becomes lesser. So, for example, if you take our learning savings passport, which is for premium, which is for $75,000, you get additional 60% value over and above $75,000, and we would match it with the course prices, and you could assign this value to your team members based on the specific trainings which you want them to take, and the trainings which you want them to and which you want those learners to undergo. This has got more than 4,000 courses, and this is a 12-month option which is available. So within 12 months, you can assign trainings and consume the value which is given. Overall, when you look at it, this is effectively a 60% additional value which you get for the same price. This is in comparison to the list price, which is mentioned on our website. The next is Learning Voucher Passport. Voucher Passport is our another platform where another package which we offer to our customers. If you say that you have decided on the number of days of training, so you could work out basis the number of days. So let's say your budget is 100 training days and you have 20 people, which effectively means that you have 5 days of training to be assigned to every person. Again, here when you invest let's say you purchase premium for $44,000, you get additional value in terms of number of days training. This is again an advantageous product if you think that your learning plans are ready for the year and you know how many days of training you need, and this could be definitely beneficial in comparison to the standard prices which are there on our website. We also have a subscription platform, and this is for individuals, and at the same time, this is also for people who are working, who are looking for training for their people within the organization. So we have three different types of subscriptions available. Silver, this is free, and to give you details about this silver subscription is that this is going to be free for www.learning.com, and you will definitely get this access to the free subscription. In this, we offer more than 300 courses. The next one is gold subscription. It's priced at $199. You get 400 plus e-learning modules from various vendors. And the most popular subscription of ours in Netcom Plus is called as Platinum. This has got more than 400 e-learning modules, and at the same time, more than 100 virtual instructor-led classes at a small price of $2,999 per learner. Just in case you have a higher requirement in terms of value, you could also get in touch with us and we can try and work out a price which would match the volume which you're looking for. And this is our latest offering, and we would encourage you to visit us and get more details about it. We have some more resources on our website, courses and certifications. Obviously, you know that we have more than 4,000 courses and certifications. So please do visit our website. You'll get detailed information about the courses, the trainings, the certifications, the exams, and so on. We do run virtual events, the one which you're listening to, similar to that. We also run master classes at no cost to you. So please do visit our website and go to the event section. You would definitely find a lot of those options which are available there, or which could be of your interest. You could register for them and attend it. Some of the previous events, we do have recordings as well, which you can access at no cost to you. We do have blogs written by industry experts on various topics. If you, since you are a learner and you want to be updated, you want to keep yourself updated on various things, the latest topics in blogs would be available. We already spoke about the savings programs and promotions. Last but not the least, we are on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We constantly give updates of our offerings and promotions on these platforms. We would encourage you to visit us on these platforms as well, and subscribe to us so that we are able to give you the related information. That's all from my side. Thank you all once again for attending this event, and we look forward to seeing you in another one.
Thanks so much for guiding us through that information, Jobby. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. If you haven't yet, it's not too late to pop your questions into the question panel. And as we start our Q&A sessions, we're also going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us to know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register. Our first question for the day is, what certifications would you recommend we start with to train our technical staff to perform these ongoing vulnerability assessments?
That is a great question. Depending on the individual, I might start with Linux Plus because so many of our IT generalists are much more comfortable in Windows than they are in the command line world where security professionals need to live. The simple fact is that many of the tools that we use in the industry are Linux based, and many of them are run from Bash and not the graphical user interface or GUI. After that, I would recommend Security Plus, then CISA, which is Cybersecurity Analyst, and then Pen Test Plus or Penetration Tester Plus from CompTIA. Additionally, there are certifications like CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker, and CHFI from the EC Council, CISSP from ISC Squared, and CISA from ISACA, as well as a number of others that are both vendor neutral and vendor specific. My best suggestion would be to contact Netcom Learning and have a discussion with them to see which path is right for you and for your people.
Next question is from Lisa, and she's asking, you mentioned during your presentation that companies should hire at least one cybersecurity professional. Can we simply train our own people to perform these audits?
You know, I have been a trainer for many years, and you are never going to hear me say anything bad about training and certifications, especially in IT. With that said, there is a difference between books and the pristine lab environment of a certification class and the real world where things seldom go according to plan. Any soldier will tell you that there is no substitute for battlefield experience, and an IT professional who has been working in cybersecurity will be like a green platoon of soldiers who have never seen action, but they will have one crusty old combat veteran sergeant to follow because he knows what he is doing, not from reading books, but from living. I firmly believe that you can create strong cybersecurity professionals for your team, but they will learn better when they have at least one experienced person on the team who has been there and done that.
And we have time for one last question for the day. You talk about working with penetration testers. Aren't they the same as hackers? And how do we know that we can trust them?
Look, I'm not going to lie. Another name for penetration testers is ethical hackers. The tools and methods that they use to test your systems are the same tools and methods that a hacker would use to break in. You cannot expect the pen testers to try to break into your systems without those same tools and without the same knowledge. Let me put it another way. In a police drill, the red team can hold a plastic pistol and shout bang to see if the police are responding well. But there is no cyber world equivalent of a plastic pistol. They have to use live ammunition. They have to use the same tools and methods that would be used by real hackers in real world situations. The question, of course, is knowing who you can trust and who is going to try to defraud you. As with any professionals, you should not simply hire them out of the phone book. You should be speaking with people you trust and doing your research and homework to find the best ones. Often you will find them through professional services firms, but in the end, you have to find someone with a reputation and a proven track record for honesty. If you accidentally hire a criminal, then you can assume that they will not respect the contract that you sign with them any more than they would respect any other laws. That's why they are criminals. There are a lot of good and trustworthy professional penetration testers out there. The trick is the same as walking down the street. Instead of avoiding potholes, you have to avoid the dishonest ones. It's as simple as that.
Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave this session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.